We're now going to cover how we can initialize an instance in a specific and customized way. So if we go to a real world analogy, let's just say we have a car factory. Not all the cars are going to be the exact same, right? There'll be different colors. They might have different number of seats, different horsepower, different transmission, and dozens of other features can change, right? So this is what we want to think about in Python. When we initialize an instance, we can customize the way it is first created. So in our current car class, which you see here, there's no customization during initialization. So all instances are the same. It's like you go to a car factory and every single car is the same. Now, the way to customize a car during construction is with this special __init___ method. So this is a special method that gets implicitly called when constructed. So again, this will be a little confusing at first, but will make more sense once we use it over and over again. So if you want to customize an instance, you can call this init or define this init method, which just stands for initialization. And so like all these methods, it's going to have a self parameter. And now we are going to put the initialization parameters here. Let's say we want our car to have a specific color. Maybe there's a price for it. There's a type of transmission, maybe the make, the model, the mileage, like this. And then, so this is a method, right? So it's a function bound to this particular instance. And then in here is where we're going to initialize. So this is the first time we're going to see or use the self parameter or the self variable name. So this refers to that, that instance that is being constructed. And this is going to look a little funny at first. So I'm going to say self.color is assigned to color. So I'm saying this instance's color. So I'm actually creating a color attribute here, and I'm going to assign it the value of this color. So whatever you pass it in, it could be red, blue, whatever, it will be assigned to the color attribute of this instance. So that's what that means. We'll do the same thing for the other ones. Self.price is assigned to price. So whatever this price is, I am now creating a price attribute on this instance. And I'm going to just do the same thing for all the other ones. So self, the transmission, the make, the model, and the mileage. Okay, so now I've redefined the car class to allow us for some customization. So now the way this is going to work is that you don't just call it like this. This will in fact not work. You cannot just instantiate the car class like this. So what happens is whenever you call car like this, it's going to look for this __init___ method. If it exists, then it's going to try to call this. So whenever you call, you're really calling this method right here. And if we call like this, we're going to get an error. It says it's missing all of these, positional arguments. These are required because they're not defaulted to anything. So we need to go ahead and give it. So we can call it by name. So we're going to say color, doesn't matter, we'll say red, price equals just some number, we'll say 80,000. Transmission equals, maybe it's a manual transition. The make, we'll say maybe it's a Tesla. The model, we'll say it's an S3. And the mileage, we'll just go ahead and say it's a new car, so there's no miles on it. So that's how you can customize the initialization. So hopefully this makes a lot of sense. This code right here, you might not understand what is happening, but let's try to let's give it a shot. So this color parameter is set to red. So this color is red. This means we're going to create an attribute named color on here, and it's going to be assigned to red. Same thing with price. We're going to create a new attribute and assign it to price. So let's go ahead and do this. And the others happen the same way. Now, when I do dot and then tab, it'll show all of the attributes and methods available, right? So color drive is the only method. There's price, transmission, make, model, and mileage. So I can say, all right, what color is my car? I'll use dot notation, and it will return the color. Same thing for all the others. How much mileage does it have? It has 0. And I can, of course, still drive it. Maybe I'll drive it 1,000 miles, and it'll then call this method right here. Okay, so that's how you can customize an instance, and it's called the initialization process, and it's in this __init___ method. So we say this gets called implicitly. That means you don't say, all right, car dot __init__. You don't ever have to call it. It just gets called, implicitly. It automatically happens. Python does it. You can have other code in here, by the way, in the init method. So now let me just run that again. And whenever I initialize it, it says in the init method. Now, you just can't, this method, you can't return anything from it. So it does have special rules. That's just one of the rules. You cannot return anything. It will implicitly return the instance itself. So you don't have to say, so what's really happening is it is returning itself, but you don't have to do that. So it will return that instance over here to my car. All right, so that is the basics of understanding what happens during initialization and how to specifically and customize an initialization with this __init___ method.